Welcome to Fishing and More with Tom, and I'm Tom. Today I'd like to take you on a little journey to what I'm going to call a diamond in the rough. And basically what it amounts to is a little lake in the inner city of Pittsburgh. I was introduced to this about 2 weeks ago, and I think it's really an exciting adventure and journey to help kids within the city learn how to fish. So that being said, let's do a little bit of fishing on this lake. The best way to keep a youngster interested in fishing is to catch a fish. The sooner the better. As adults, we know that their attention span is not that long. Fishing one spot for hours may not produce results. This video is an attempt to guide those not familiar with the sport on just how to catch a fish. First and foremost, you have to find them. 90% of the fish live in only 10% of the water. Initially, what may work to hold a child's attention is to have them play hide and seek with the fishing rod and bait presentation. The fish are hiding and you need to find them. Only then can they be caught. Our goal today is to give you some ideas on just how to do that. Most important, change things until you find something that works. Good luck. Okay, we got another worm on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a little bit further than where I spotted that fish. And I'm going to just bring it in slowly to where I think they are again. That way I'm not spooking them. So it was right in this vicinity right here. Right about there. Okay, we got somebody looking. Missed him again. Okay, we're back in the water about where we saw that bite. Okay, there's something looking at it. And this time I wrapped a little bit more worm onto the hook. So they may have to work at it a little bit harder to get that worm off of there. And each time you have to try something different. There are fish right along the edge right here. And they're fighting. I can see about a dozen small fish. Since they're small, I'm trying not to strike hard whenever to set the hook. Now they're not taking it now, which means there's probably no bait on there. Nope, lost everything. Okay, we've changed our hook. We put a worm back on there. And before I forget to do this, if you're The initial thing is trying to find where the fish are. So you sort of figure out a plan, or take and plan. Okay, I'm going to start over here. And if I do not, and I'm going to just bring this in slowly as I'm relating a plan to you. I'm going to bring this in slowly. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to bring it in slowly. I'm going to stop it. And if I don't find any fish along this plan of attack, then what I do is try a different area. So I'm a little bit off to the right of what I was before. So I'm trying to cover water, and I'm trying to find where the fish are. And so far the only thing I've come up with is they're about 5 feet off the shore right here. Now we're coming over to where I found the fish before, and we had a little bite, a little bit of interest there. Brought it in about 1.5 feet or so.
Swallow that big ass lure.
We have some interest. Oh, here we go. Oh, they cleaned me off again. Okay, I'm going to go back to my original plan of trying to find out where they're at. So now this time I cast the float a little bit further right, and I'm going to bring it in, let it sit for a minute, bring it in, and instead of winding it in, what I'm doing is just simply raising my rod steady, but bringing the float in about 1.5 feet or so. Leave it sit, bring it in. If there's something out there that is eager to eat, it will go after that bait. Now this group of fish that we're finding here close to shore, there we go. Again, this is where they're at. Okay, this one I have. Oops. No, I didn't. Again, I'm not trying to set the hook real fast. Okay, I'm going to cast a little bit off to the right. Again, I'm searching the water for where these fish are. Most fish will travel in schools, and they travel in schools with other fish that are about the same age and the same size. You're not going to have a bluegill that's only about 1.5 inches being friends with a bass that's about 6 inches long. That little fish is food for the big one. And that little fish knows it. So it's a case of their safety in numbers. And down here close to the shore, we have some really tiny
Seen that move?
bluegill.
A lot of bluegill.
Yep. There we go. And they're not really hungry. They're just playing around. I can see probably 2 dozen fish. Back to my original plan of trying to find where the fish are. I cast a little bit further to the right. Something to keep in mind that these small fish that are down here in front of me, they're not really hungry. What they're doing is looking at that food saying, boy, that's really neat, but I'm not really hungry, and so they're just playing around with it. They are not aggressively feeding. So that's why I'm having problems catching them. If they are aggressively feeding, you will not miss many bites. Now I can look down here and I can see they're just sitting there, just doing nothing. And again, there's probably about 30 bluegill right there. Ah, we've got a bite over here. Now, about where that float is, there should be some bigger bluegill, some big largemouth bass. They're not going to be far away from food. So when they get hungry, they're going to come in here and get these little suckers. And once again, I lost my bait. Reference some of the things I've mentioned in this video. If I don't find what I'm looking for in a particular area, pick up and go somewhere else. There may be fish on the other side of the lake right there biting like crazy or looking for worms, but I'm sitting over here playing around with these small ones. So it boils down to you're trying to find fish. If you don't find what you're looking for, go somewhere else. Don't waste a whole day standing here doing this when you're looking for some largemouth bass or something different. Today, I'm just trying to relate how you go about finding fish and some different aspects of when you find them, what do you do with it, and again, you're trying to find fish. If you don't find what you're looking for, try somewhere else. Not all the fish are feeding at the same time in a lake. Now what I'm doing is just moving my float along real easy. Maybe something will want to come along and grab it. Something I'm going to also change right now. I'm going to change my depth. Let's see what happens when I change the depth. I pulled my line in so that virtually I have a straight line from the rod to the float. So if I get a bite, I'm not having to wind a lot of line in it before it finally contacts with the fish. Right now I don't know how deep the water is. I think it's only about 4 or 5 feet deep. We have something in wants to check this out. I'm going to reel up some of my excess line that's out there. It doesn't like me pulling away from it. Got it. Nothing to write home about. First fish of the day.